Hey, Dan Passarelli, Market Taker Mentoring here. There's been a lot of talk the last couple of weeks about hedging. I've gotten a lot of questions from some of our students, and I wanted to just go over some of the basics on some of the things you have to think about if you're looking to hedge a stock or ETF or even your whole portfolio by buying puts. From the most basic level, there are two things that you need to consider when choosing which put to buy. Now, say I own shares of SPY, or I have a mutual fund that mimics the S&P 500, or a whole portfolio that mimics the S&P 500. If I want to buy puts, one of the things I have to think of first is which strike price. If I buy an at-the-money put, I've got close to about a 50 delta that way. That means immediately only half of the directional sensitivity is hedged. Now, that said, of course, if the ETF is below the strike price at expiration, I can simply exercise that put and I'm hedged entirely. I effectively would sell my shares at $428. Now, that works great if I actually own the ETF. If I have a mutual fund or a portfolio that mimics the S&P 500, I probably don't want to go that route and exercise the puts. Either way, because the put strike controls both the delta and what price you would sell the stock if you decide to exercise, we can think of the put strike as sort of the deductible. If I go further down and buy a lower strike put, they end up being cheaper, which is nice, but I'd be selling the stock at 424 instead of 428 if I chose this 424 strike. Now, one of the other things I need to think of is the expiration. How long do I want that protection? Do I want it for 4 days? Am I just concerned about some of the crazy happenings that might be happening in this week, whenever this week is, right? Or maybe 11 days or 25 days. Or maybe I want to go out and do some leaps. Like say maybe these 347 days, right? Maybe I want to go out close to a year in time. That's basically one of the biggest criteria in that decision is just simply how long I want the protection for. Now, as we get a little bit more advanced, we're going to look at the theta levels and we're going to look at the implied volatility levels and maybe some other things, but those are going to be topics for a different video on a different day. I hope that's helpful. Once again, I'm Dan Passarelli of Market Taker Mentoring. Trade smart.